There are many different ways to exchange information. Communication can take place in various forms, such as written form, verbally, through visuals, gestures, and facial expressions, and more. We will focus on two communication types, verbal and written. Meetings, presentations, briefings, video conferences, and voicemails are all examples of verbal communication. Project documents, contracts, reports, letters, emails, text messages, and social media are examples of written communication. Verbal and written communication can either take place formally or informally, which creates four main communication types as follows. 1. Formal verbal, which includes project meetings, briefings, presentations, retrospectives, and daily stand-ups. 2. Informal verbal, which includes conversations, ad hoc meetings, and casual discussions. 3. Formal written, which includes project documents, contracts, reports, project charter, business case, and product backlog. And 4. Informal written, which includes emails, social media, text messages, and notes. Apart from those four communication types, it is possible to add other labels to the communication activities as follows. Internal communications take place between internal stakeholders. External communications take place between internal and external stakeholders. Upward communications consists of information moving from lower-level employees to high-level employees, such as a progress report sent from an executive to the CEO. Downward communications consist of information moving from higher-level employees to lower-level employees, such as a directive sent from a CEO to the managers. Horizontal communications exchange information across the same level, such as a manager communicating with another manager. Official communications occur through predefined communication channels set by the organization, such as the project meetings, contracts, business cases, etc. Unofficial communications occur through informal means, such as lunchtime discussions. Apart from communication types, there are three types of communication methods that define how communication takes place. Push communication is delivered one way, from sender to receivers, such as emails, letters, reports, press releases, etc. Push communication is used where an immediate response by the recipients is not needed, and most of the time is used for informational purposes. In this type of communication method, the sender cannot confirm that the recipient read and understood the message, as it is a one-way method of communicating. Pull communication occurs when the sender places the information at a location, such as a website, database, or bulletin board, and the receiver pulls the information at their own discretion. An internet search or an e-learning website is a good example of pull communication because the receiver proactively pulls information as the need arises. Pull communication is widely used to distribute information to large audiences. As the receiver needs to retrieve information proactively in this type of communication method, it should not be used to distribute any information that requires action by the receiver. With this type of communication method, the sender cannot confirm that the recipient has received and understood the message. And the third type of communication method is the interactive communication. Interactive communication is two-way communication, in which the information is shared back and forth between sender and receiver in real time, such as conversations, video calls, phone calls, meetings, etc. It is the most effective way of communicating as it creates engagement in both sender and receiver. Interactive communication can be formed face-to-face or virtually. It should be used where an immediate response is needed and in cases where the push and pull communication methods are insufficient. Unlike push and pull communication methods, the sender can confirm that the recipient has understood the message in interactive communication. Each communication type and method have different features, and each serves a different purpose. The project manager and team should determine the best mix of communication types and methods to result in effective and efficient project communications. Lastly, Let's take a look at the ultimate tips for exam success. In the exam questions regarding communication types and methods, you should determine the best mix of different communication types and methods based on the situation described. For critical matters, especially involving claims with the external parties, formal written communication is required. For urgent matters that require immediate response, formal verbal communication can be a good alternative. On the other hand, using formal written or verbal communication for simple matters would waste team members' time and decrease productivity. Push and pull communication should never be used for critical matters or when an immediate response is needed. Push communication is used when an immediate response by the recipients is not needed, while pull communication can be used to distribute any information that requires no response from the receiver. In most exam questions, prefer interactive communication over the others. It is the most effective way of communicating as it creates engagement by both sender and receiver. Projects with millions of stakeholders use pull communication to provide general information that relates to stakeholders with high interest, low power, and low influence over the project. Projects using the predictive approach require more bureaucracy. For that reason, more formal communication is needed in such projects as compared to agile projects. Keep the sixth principle of the Agile Manifesto in mind when answering questions on communications regarding agile projects. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. It is the project manager's responsibility to ensure that the planned communication strategies are effective and efficient. If they are not, necessary improvements should be made by the project manager.